and had this pitch to my old man and my mom. You guys take it from here financially, and I'll do the school part, which was basically the original plan. I just was actually going to do it this time. And my dad looked at me and said, from this point forward, like, you are cut off completely. Adventures of Sammy. Almost time to pick up the kiddos from school. You leading the show, Sam? You leading the show? Yeah. Let's go. Some pretty crazy clouds. Come here, Sam. Come here. Hi, how you doing? All right, we're gonna have to cross here. Looking for a spare tennis ball. Hey, Sammy. Sammy, come. I talk a lot about the business side of my kind of career up to this point, and my wife had a good suggestion to talk about, being a teen dad, and which I wasn't actually a teen dad. I found out my son was en route, as I often say, when I was 20, and at that point in time, I was working part-time potentially at Staples at that point, but maybe not. I think maybe I was just completely on my parents' game plan of going to school full-time and getting crappy grades in school, not really taking it too seriously. At Cal Poly Pomona, go Mustangs, Broncos. That's how seriously I took school. I think it's Mustangs. Or is it Broncos? Who's to say? My story really starts there, I guess, in some ways. Like, I had a pretty traditional upbringing, but people think it's sometimes interesting to hear my story of why how I got 3 stores and how did you get into the retail business, and I think there's some interesting news and there's little tidbits of information that might be interesting or compelling along that route. It kind of started in troubled waters when I was 20 years old, a junior in college, kind of getting B's and C's and not taking it super seriously, or seriously at all, and then going from that to here kind of is a weird, I would say like a forced difficulty. And people, my kids are growing up now, and I talk to people about their paths in life, and I've taken a path that I wouldn't recommend because I made it more difficult on myself, but it also forced me, by having a kid when I was 20. I was 20 years old when I knew I was going to be a parent. It forced me to grow up really, really quick. And I would say I was having a really hard time growing up really, really quick. I was, screwing off in school and getting in trouble and not taking it super seriously. And by having a kid early, I had this moment where, people that are close to me know the story, but I went to, I had this game plan with my girlfriend at the time, who my parents had not met. I went home solo before they had met her, and had this pitch to my old man and my mom. I said, hey, here's the plan. Great plan, really great plan, awesome plan. By the way, you are going to be grandparents, so congratulations, yeehaw. And by the way, I'm going to finish school and take it seriously finally, and really buckle down, lock in, as kids say these days. And I'm going to do really well. I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to have a long and prosperous life, thriving with being a father at 21 years old. And I told that story to my dad and my mom, and I had this planned all, it's like, you guys take it from here financially, and I'll do the school part, which was basically the original plan. I just was actually going to do it this time. And my dad looked at me and said, from this point forward, like, you are cut off completely, because they were paying my housing, they were paying my food, my beer money, and they told me like, oh no, my dad was like, you need to get a full-time job. You need to get, and not to say they were kicking me to the curb, like we're going to be there to emotionally support me, but they were kicking me to the curb to kind of take, it was basically you want to be a man now? Like, here you go. Congratulations. You get all the perks of managing the stresses of life, but instead of waiting until you were, in a career and married and established, here you go, son. So that was, probably the single most important thing I guess looking back, the one moment, like defining moment in my life where my dad like really made a judgment call, and it was the right call, which was pretty cool. And so I went and got a full-time job. I got benefits working in retail, and that really forced me to grow up fast, but also forced me to like really start making good money early. I dropped out of college. I took as many online courses as I could. Back then, like online courses weren't as prominent as they are now. I could have like finished my bachelor's if this had all happened in 2024. I could have finished my bachelor's and kind of been on my way. But instead, it forced me to go into the working world and learn retail and do outside sales and get really, really good at sales. And I learned pretty quickly, like the two best ways to make money in life are to be an entrepreneur, start your own business, and like then you have like no ceiling, or work in sales. Those were the two routes. Outside of like, you can go medicine, doctor, anything that's going to require 6 to 8 years of schooling post high school or something. I was kind of not really my cup of tea. And so I got into sales, and I started jamming on that until I was making enough to start my own side hustle, which turned into the main hustle. But looking back on like why I am the way I am with my path, like a lot of that goes back to that moment. And I would never encourage someone to have start being a parent before they're ready and all that kind of stuff. But I think I was like I remember vividly in high school and in college thinking like I really had like so much opportunity and not a lot of hardship. Like I just didn't have any. I didn't have, my parents were good people, picture perfect setup. I lived in the exact same home for the whole 18 years of my childhood before moving out to go live in the dorms in college, and no health issue, like just really no, money was like middle class, stable, not loaded or whatever, but like I never had to worry about where my next meal was going to come from. And so going into like adulthood, not having any hardship, I vividly remember like, oh, we've got some hardship now. we've got we went and created ourselves some more narrow, difficult path ahead. And I remember like enjoying that challenge, and it's been hard. Like there's been moments that have been tougher than others, but some really like awesome ones too, like having, being a parent and having that kind of responsibility and watching them grow up and accomplish stuff. And now I've got 3 kiddos that are all doing some pretty awesome stuff. But yeah, that was my walk the dog story. Yeah, I think that's really what kind of got me, made me grow up really quick, and I'm glad it did. And Logan's a champ. And so it's fun to look back. It's fun to look back now that he's 16 and I've gone through all that mess, and I'm married, and my wife and I have been married for 11 years, and we got 2 kiddos of our own who are 12 and 9. And so life has like worked out pretty well with a lot of hard work, but it all comes down to some of those crazy moments that happen early in life. At least for me, was pretty defining. But all right, that's the walk and talk for today. Sammy's ready to rock. Ready, Sam? Ready to roll? She doesn't know how to speak. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it, Sam. I think the kids are out of school, yeah?
job. That's a good one for your voice. I like that. I like that one together.